guys, this video was a request, and well, there's a lot of top 10 videos out there, but y'all wanted to see it, so here is mine. A little bit of house cleaning, because I'm sure some people are going to say, what about this, what about this, what about this? There is no Sauvage in this list. This list is about 10 best fragrances, innovative fragrances, unique fragrances. There's no Sauvage. Sauvage is not unique. Sauvage is overpriced, oversold. It's good cologne, but it's not on here. There's going to be no Bleu de Chanel. The sillage and the performance on it are awful. So I'm not going to put something on there like that. And there's no La Nuit de l'Homme because all YSL colognes underperform. So those are the top 3 that I think people probably take exception with. But I also want to know what your top are. So I want to know what your top 10, top 5, top 3, whatever you want to throw. Let me know. So let's just do it. This is going to be in order, obviously, from 10 to 1. Let's do it. So I'll tell you, I thought it'd be hard picking like top 3, maybe not like top 10. I didn't think top 10 would be that hard, but it kind of was. It's like super difficult. So I picked 9. The 10th one, I don't feel super strongly about this one, so you can judge me on this one, but this one, Why Men by Yves Saint Laurent. This is the, so I can't even tap on this. There we go. There we go. This is the one Yves Saint Laurent fragrance that really does project and last for a while. It's also overpurchased. It's a little one-dimensional because it fits in well as a fall fragrance, but not really at all around there, other than fall. Maybe colder spring days, but it's fruity, it's woodsy, it's masculine. This is the Eau de Parfum Intense version. I believe it is the best version of it, but you don't have to buy that. In this video, I'm also going to be talking about alternatives and clones. And this is the first opportunity that I have. Lattafa, they make a fragrance called Fakar. Sounds like a bad word. I don't think it's meant to be, but I could be wrong. Makes nice sounds, huh? There we go. So, Fakar is sweeter, maybe a little bit more pink pepper, maybe a little bit more citrus off the front end, but the dry down to the Why Men Eau de Parfum is very, very similar, but not the intense version as much. But the difference between Why Men, $80, maybe more, and then Fakar being, $20, $25, it's a no-brainer, and Lattafa's great. No complaints. So that's 10. Number 9 is Parfums de Marly's Layton. Parfums de Marly's is overpriced, but it's not like super, super expensive. But Layton is, just because it's probably the most popular. So I don't have Layton because I refuse to spend over $300 on a fragrance. So I have some clones. The best Parfums de Marly's Layton clone is Amber Oud Bleu Exclusive by Al Hermé. This is an incredible fragrance. Layton has an incredible DNA, incredibly fruity off the top, really over the top, soapy, masculine. Maybe not masculine, it could be unisex. Lasts forever, but it's super, super unique. I never really understood what a clean gym fragrance was before Layton, but you could easily rock this at the gym. It's energized, it's citrus, it's just over the top, over the top. Sorry, my hair's coming out for some reason. Amber Oud Bleu Exclusive, still not cheap. 2.5 milliliters for ounces, sorry. 2.5 ounces for $70-80. It's not cheap. If you want a cheap, but very, very accurate, if you want a cheaper version, the exact same, not designer, but house makes Detour Noir, and Detour Noir gets to about 80%. Maybe not that much, but it's a leaky bottle. It's a little bit more citrus, a little bit more alcohol, a little bit less blended, a little more feminine, but it's like $22, $23, and you don't have to feel bad spraying it, so I don't. So, number 9, Parfums de Marly's Layton. Number 8, one that I don't see in any top 10, which should be Valentino's Born in Roma Intense. I don't like hardly any other Born in Roma or Valentino fragrance other than Yellow Dream, which is the worst name for a fragrance ever, maybe ever. This fragrance right here, women love this. It's a perfumey fragrance, super floral and fruity right off the top. It's definitely unisex, but definitely leans a little bit more feminine. I feel like their marketing was totally off with this. They pitched this as a clubbing fragrance like Versace's Eros, but it also can be sophisticated, and I feel like they just alienated all of that crowd of individuals that don't want a party fragrance. They want to be taken seriously. I really like this fragrance, and women love it, and the bottle is just so cool. So Born in Roma Intense is number 8, and I also credit this particular fragrance with getting me back into fragrances. When I was a teenager, I was, big into fragrances. Fell out of fragrance community and basically just rocked Aqua de Gios and Sauvage. I know there was a day when I was rocking Sauvage. Not anymore, but my very first fragrance that I got blind bought just because someone had it used, and I picked this guy up, and it was incredible. It reinvigorated. You see, whenever I smell something really good, if y'all have watched me before, I just freak out. It takes me back to a place. It sends me on a whirlwind, and I start swatting invisible mosquitoes. Like, that's what that did, and it just reminded me of how much fun the fragrance community can be, and just to take you on an adventure. Just like, so many people are food people, foodies. They like trying new things, new senses, new experiences. Same thing with fragrances. That's what got me into it. Number 7, Green Irish Tweed. I actually do have, I preach this all the time, don't buy Creed, don't buy Tom Ford. I actually do have Green Irish Tweed. The original spring fragrance, green fragrance, grass, woodsiness, dirt, rural, just gorgeous profile. Now, the one thing about Green Irish Tweed is that it is spicy. It's bitter. It has some bitter notes to it and some lingering spice that I don't like. So I go beyond, and actually I like the clones better than Green Irish Tweed. And Tre Nuit by Armaf is my go-to. It outperforms Green Irish Tweed. It smells better than Green Irish Tweed. It's more sweet than Green Irish Tweed. And it doesn't have those annoying spice notes, pepper notes that I don't like in the original Green Irish Tweed. And I don't have to support Creed, which is even better. But, I mean, this truly is your spring green fragrance. There's a reason why the last video that I put out was celebrity fragrances. There's a reason why so many celebrities rock Green Irish Tweed. It's a phenomenal fragrance, and it's been stolen, cloned. The DNA's been extracted, and it's been done over and over and over again. And there's a reason why. It's really, really good. So, number 7, green Irish tweed. Number 6, this one is when it starts to get a little harder. Number 6, red tobacco by Mancera. When I first tried this fragrance, I was swatting invisible mosquitoes for like 10 minutes. I cannot believe how freaking good this fragrance is. But I really enjoy red fragrances. What does red fragrance mean? What does it mean when it says red? Red just means that they're mixing and matching, kind of like strawberries and chocolate. They take something that's naturally inclined to be very, very bitter, deep, complex, earthy, and then they pair it with something that's supposed to be very sweet, very complimentary. And one of my favorite, which is not as good as this, but Black Opium over Red, is Black Opium by Yves Saint Laurent. And what the red notes typically are cherry. Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, phenomenal fragrance. Cherry is the note that most people go for when designing red fragrances to complement, but I've seen strawberry and raspberry before. It's not as common. You usually see cherry, so it's just kind of distinct, non-distinct, kind of like green notes and herba pura. It's distinct. You can tell it comes from that family, but not really pick out the exact fragrance. So the reason why it's 6, not everybody likes tobacco fragrances, and well, I can't say this was the best fragrance ever made, in my opinion, if it's a little divisive. So what you're getting is a super, super slap in the face. Actually, I've been getting some comments, not enough tapping, so I'll tap now. See, I listen to comments, y'all. Actually, I still have right here in front of me, sorry that was loud, I still have right here in front of me from when I unboxed it. I kept it at my desk. The original bag that this came in. All Mancera fragrances come in this golden bag. Okay, back to scheduled programming. The reason why, or no, I was describing what it is. So it's like a punch in the face with tobacco, very, very heavy on the tobacco. And then those red notes come in and complement it so well. It's so good. You gotta try it. Problem with Mancera, man, I don't think anybody carries them, so they're almost always a blind buy, which is awful, because anytime you have a niche fragrance, there's gonna be a lot of people that don't like them. You know, the nose isn't used to it, and it's just unfortunate that no one carries Mancera. But I like Mancera, support Mancera. Still expensive, but under $100. Oh my gosh, too freaking good. But I have an alternative for you out there. In fact, it's something that I might like even better, and it is by Armoff, and it's called Hunter Killer. This and this, not the same. This does not try to be this. What Armoff recognized is that tobacco is a divisive scent, and it tried to basically remove some of the tobacco and make a sweeter fragrance out of it. So right off the top, immediately, instead of the tobacco being the front heavy, you're greeted with the fruit. So it's very sweet up front, and it stays sweet, pretty consistent throughout it. But you still is still present. It's still unapologetic, but it's not in your face. I've never gotten compliments with red tobacco. Every time I go out with Hunter Killer, I get compliments. Red tobacco is $100. Hunter Killer is $20-something. If you can find, it's a little hard to find. But it is similar DNA. Scales back the tobacco, adds in more complex earth tones and fruitiness. And it's incredible. It's incredible. So either way, these are great. But as a fragrance lover, I like red tobacco more. But as someone who is trying not to be offensive to everyone who's, who can smell me, I definitely favor Hunter Killer. So that is my bottom 5. Why Men, Parfums de Marly's Layton, Valentino, Born in Roma Intense, Green Irish Tweed, and Red Tobacco. So that is my bottom 5. Oh my gosh, it's just such a good fragrance. You all need to try it if you haven't. Okay, so we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Let's go to 5. I'm excited. This is when we're probably going to get divisive. This is when I'm going to irritate some people, I think. Okay, number 5. This one actually won't irritate people. In fact, I think you'll be more irritated if I didn't put this in here. And it is Aqua de Gio. Which Aqua de Gio? Aqua de Gio, obviously. Profumo. The best one. Also makes incredible tapping noises. On the bottom. So, funny enough, really the only one that they discontinued. The best one by far, the Profundo, is gross. I try to like it like 3 or 4 times. I can't. The Parfum, they messed up discontinuing Profumo, but they have the Parfum and it's just like it. It's not. I didn't like the Parfum. This is taking a wonderful fragrance, Aqua de Gio, making it perfect. I don't care what anybody has to say. Making it perfect. This is perfect. But also simplifying it a little bit. So the opening, marine notes, sea notes, salty notes, bergamot, frankincense, bottom notes, patchouli, woodsiness, masculine, a little unisex, but lasts forever with one spray. It's probably one of the greatest fragrances ever made. And it is. That's why it's number 5. That's why it's number 5 on the list, because it is one of the greatest fragrances ever made. So, number 5, Aqua de Gio. Profumo. Okay. 4 was a little complicated. I knew that I wanted to go with a Replica fragrance. I didn't know which one, so I picked one. I didn't want to put 2 in the top 10, so I picked one, but I brought the other one to also talk about. By the Fireplace, by Replica, number 4. But before I do that, let me tell you what the other one was that I wanted to bring out. Jazz Club. I actually wear Jazz Club even more than I wear Replica. It's boozy, it's sweet, it smells like someone just spilled a cocktail on you. It's really nice. And 4 or 5 sprays will get you going for probably about 3 hours. It's not the greatest in longevity. It's really not. Now the cool thing about these is if you have a Sephora, you can go try all the Killians, the Tom Fords, the Armanis, and the Replicas. They have partnerships with Sephora, so if you do have a Sephora, you can go and try this. You don't have to blind buy, and they're not so expensive like Mancera, $70-$80, but let's go back to the original Replica by the Fire. Probably a fragrance nobody will understand until they try it, because the name is not totally accurate. I'll stress this. I'm not a huge fan of smoke in fragrances. I do not love Aventus or the Aventus DNA. So, how can I rank this number 4? So when you first spray by the fireplace, I was expecting hardcore, just smoke, 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 smoke. And I didn't get it. In fact, what you get is earthiness, woodiness. But then, when that dries down a little bit, you're hit with a crazy, almost ginger sweetness that reminds you of a s'mores. And that's what it smells like. It smells like s'mores by the fireplace. And again, I also don't really like dessert fragrances that much. This is an exception. If this lasted longer, it could be my top 3 or even my number 1. But it only lasts 3 or 4 hours, and it's also a bit one-dimensional. I wore this at late spring, and it was okay, but it definitely wasn't. You could tell it wasn't, that wasn't when it was meant to be worn. But that sweetness, that s'mores, it's just... Now, I love amber fragrances, which is going to explain my top 3. But I really think Replica by the Fireplace is one of the best fragrances ever made. That's number 4. Now we're getting down to it. Top 3, top 3, top 3. I'm excited to see what y'all's top 3 are due, or top 10. However many you could put, a top 180 if you really wanted to. But it is subjective, obviously. But I base this off of a life of testing fragrances. So I truly will stand by this. I might make another, if y'all want another one in a year or so, another top 10 to see if anything changed. But this is what it is for right now. Number 3. It is Kilian's Angel Share. I did not want to like this fragrance. I'll be honest with you. I did not want to like this fragrance. Nothing about this fragrance did I want to like. I didn't want to like the booziness. I didn't want to like the vanilla. I didn't want to like the unisex. I wanted something strong and masculine. And then I just fell in love with it. Now, this particular fragrance is one of the only fragrances that I've tried that doesn't really have much of an equal in clones and reproductions. I still favor the original. The problem is, and the reason why maybe it should have even been lower, the longevity of this sucks. Kilian's Angel Share, I get 2 hours max, but what you do get in those 2 hours is just nothing short of incredible. So, oh my gosh, right off the top, you're getting boozy, super, super boozy, vanilla. I think the Replica just bombarded my nose because I can't even pick up anything right now. There you go. So you're getting some aromatics, some woodiness, some boozy, alcohol, brandy, cognac kind of vibes, mixed with some vanilla sweetness and a little bit of spice. That's spice, and that is just, it's a subtle sweetness. It's not in your face overly sweet. That's what the clones miss for me. They go over the top on the sweetness. But Kilian's Angel Share is just incredible, and it has no equal in my opinion. Again, one-dimensional. Can't wear it in the summer. Can't wear it in the late spring, depending on where you are, of course. And doesn't last long. So that's why it's only 3. But there are some decent clones, Lattafa's Camera is one of them. It looks like a, was it canter? Like a whiskey canter. And it just misses. Maybe 70% there. It has the booziness, but it takes it in a strange aromatic, oriental fragrance kind of way, like oriental spices. I don't know, it's difficult to explain, but if you smell both of them together, you're like, yeah, that's not even close. What is close is Alt's Amber Angel. The original spray smells nothing like it, even as I'm sampling it right now. That smells absolutely nothing like it. But when this dries down, it's almost identical. I actually did a test where I sprayed on one strip. You can see that in the Alt review video. When I first tried it, I was like, it smells, none of them smelled anything like it, totally different. But then after 20 minutes, I couldn't tell the original and the clone apart. They were identical, so take that for what it is. Number 3, Angel Share. Okay. This is the one that I think people are going to want to beat me over the head for. I'll show you the bottle. Oh, you know what that is? Someone there is about ready to throw their phone, bash their television, break their computer. Y'all, I tried. This was another fragrance I did not want to like, and it is Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. I think people's biggest problem with this fragrance is not the fragrance, it's the fact that people who use Tobacco Vanille are, well, they don't know how to use it. They overspray, and it's so in your face that it turns people off. A subtle amount of Tobacco Vanille. I mean, it's tobacco and vanilla and a couple of other spices, but it's inoffensive enough that it should not, offend people, but it does, and that's why it can never be number 1 in my opinion, just because it's, oh my gosh. But the first time that I tried it, I was blown away. If you go on these Reddits, it's one of the most hated fragrances, and it's like, $300, so don't buy that. Instead, go and pick you up my favorite clone, Tobacco Touch by Maison Alhambra. Maison Alhambra makes incredible Tom Ford clones. The best, in my opinion, Tom Ford clones. Maison Alhambra Tobacco Touch. Is it 1-to-1? Absolutely not. This is much more feminine and much more vanilla than Tobacco Vanille. I never have gotten the chance to try Amber Oud's tobacco. I ordered it from Forever Luxe, and they just never sent it to me, never shipped, and it took me a month to get my money back to order from another individual. I don't recommend Forever Luxe for that reason. I recommend Perfume Spot. I like Perfume Spot, so I still, to this day, I've never tried Amber Oud tobacco, but Tobacco Touch, $22, and it gets you there very, very close. And again, another old fragrance, Nicotiana. Yeah, open notes, mid notes, not even close, dry down, identical. I can't tell you what I love about Tobacco Vanille. It's sweet, it's sultry, it's just nice. It puts me at ease. I just love it. I think it's a perfect combination. Don't wear it in the summer though, and don't bathe in it. But it's good enough that it ranked number 2 on my all-time top 10. So now, what is number 1? Number 1's gonna shock you. I know it's gonna shock you. when looking at this, I didn't just want notes. I didn't just want performance. I didn't just want sillage. I didn't just want cost effectiveness. I wanted all of it. And so that is why I have my number one. It's a combination of all of them. And this comes from the house of Halloween. Yes, Halloween. I could have put 4 of their fragrances on this list, but I held back to 1. And it is Halloween Man X. Not Halloween Man. Not Rock On. Not, what's the other one? Mystery. There's Tattoo. I think I'm missing one. This is Halloween Man X. Halloween Man is very, very similar to Valentino's. Sorry, I just gave you the finger unintentionally. I did not mean that. I take it back. Very similar to Valentino's Born in Roma Intense, which is very similar to Paco Rabanne's 1 Million. Very similar, maybe even to Paco Rabanne's Invictus as far as the DNA. But Halloween Man X, I did so dirty in my review video. I had just sampled, I think, 17 or 18 fragrances and didn't have a nose left. And I tried to sample Halloween Man X, and I'm like, this is the exact same as Halloween Man. Absolutely dead wrong. I even put an excerpt at the end of it saying I was wrong. I am wrong sometimes, you know. Halloween Man X has subtle complexities that make this, in my opinion, the greatest cologne that was ever invented at a price point of $30. It comes on very strong. Hold on, tobacco. Replica. Okay, I'm trying to find empty skin here. Okay. It comes on very strong. Very, very similar opening to like all the other Halloween Mans. Have very strong fruity openings. Bergamot, citrus, lemon. And then you're like, what is that? And you have this underlying note of tonka beans and coffee beans. I don't like coffee. In fact, I hate coffee. I never drink it. And yes, I've tried it. It's not just I hate it. I've tried it over and over and over again. I do not like it. Putting it in a note with all of the other notes that are in there, the sweetness, the woodsiness, was nothing less than genius. That complexity of the coffee and the citrus is like, bro, I don't think it's ever been done before. And it's so good. And it's a compliment getter. It lasts forever. It invigorates me. It energizes me. And it's a $30 fragrance. And you just can't beat that. So I wanted to pick Halloween. And as I sat down to do my top 10, it just happened to be number 1. I cannot find a flaw with it. It's incredible. So I'll go over 10 Why Men, 9 Parfums de Marly's Layton, 8 Born in Roma Intense, only Intense, don't like the other ones. 7 Green Irish Tweed, Oramoff, Trinouille. 6 Red Tobacco, Mancera. 5 is Aqua Profumo. 4 Replica by the Fireplace. 3 Lattafa's, Killian's Angel Share. 2 Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. And number 1 is Halloween Man. That's my list. You don't have Armani Gold Absolute. You don't have, what is that stupid one that everyone is talking about these days? Indigo, or was that the $300, $400 one? It's not good. I've considered all of them when putting these top 10. I think a lot of people would drop these things just to say, hey, I got the money, I can afford it, I got this, you should get it. Now, a lot of the $400 fragrances, they smell awful, and that's all going to be taken into account as well, the price point. Because if I'm spending $400 on a fragrance, it better be the greatest fragrance in the world. What is that name of that stupid fragrance company? Anyways, it's not going to drive me crazy, because the second that I finish with this, I'm never going to think about it again. But anyways, that's my top 10, and hopefully the clones will make it easy and affordable if you want to pick some of these guys up to try. The clones are $30, the ones that I named. So this is my